is it still fun? I mean, people start doing something when they're very young. A lot of them reach a point in their life where they say they're burnt out, or it's less attractive than it used to be, or it's more of a business than it ever was. What about from your perspective?
No, it's a love thing. It was my first love, and it's a constant. It's always there.
Does it change?
No. It is fun, but more than fun, it's a love.
Aretha Franklin, Queen of Soul, 20th century powerhouse, and the woman who turned R.E.S.P.E.C.T. into the soundtrack of a global movement. Aretha, however, was more than her titles, her fame, or even that unmatched voice. She was a cultural icon, a child prodigy, and a lady whose life story was as complex and rich as the soul music she shared with the world. Born in 1942 in Memphis, Tennessee, Aretha grew up in Detroit, practically at the heart of the gospel music scene thanks to her father, Reverend C.L. Franklin.
This is my daughter, Aretha. She'd like to sing a little something for you. What would you like to sing, Reed?
The Reverend was a star in his own right,
How old is she?
bringing gospel greats like Sam Cooke and Mahalia Jackson into the Franklin living room and filled churches with his powerful sermons. So it's no wonder little Aretha, with her untrained yet stunning voice, took to the church stage at age 10, captivating audiences and predicting what was to come. Aretha didn't need to be taught to sing. She could sing her soul out from the start. Aretha's father was her greatest influence when her mother, Barbara Franklin, died when she was just 10 years old. Even though her father assisted in directing her career, Aretha's innate ability was the main attraction. Remember when you were 14, maybe you were worried about school. Aretha, she was worried about her second child. While most teenagers were juggling prom dates in high school, Aretha was balancing a developing music career with teen motherhood, having given birth to her first child at the age of 12 and her second at the age of 14. Despite having a difficult upbringing, Aretha's tenacity became one of her distinguishing characteristics, one that would fuel her later triumphs. Aretha had already recorded her first gospel CD by the time she was 14 years old.
Miss Aretha Franklin.
When she was 18, she left Detroit to sign with Columbia Records. Although it wasn't the best fit, Columbia's attempt to turn her into a jazz star didn't work out for Aretha. Her goal was to evoke a feeling in others. When she finally moved to Atlantic Records 6 years later, and that's where things started to get interesting. Her career took off when she joined Atlantic. She covered Otis Redding's original song, Respect, in 1967, and turned it into an anthem of dignity and empowerment. The song was no longer about a male demanding respect. Instead, it was about a woman claiming what she deserved, a woman demanding her due, no questions asked. Franklin's version became a civil rights and feminist anthem. Her strong, unique twist, including her own ad-libs and the famous R.E.S.P.E.C.T. spelling, helped reinterpret the song's meaning and solidified her reputation as a voice for justice and empowerment. Ted White, Aretha's manager, was her husband in 1961. Regretfully, White also caused Aretha a great deal of stress. They separated in 1969 after a difficult marriage tainted by allegations of violence and control. Despite being extremely quiet about her personal life, Aretha's hardships were evident in her songs, giving them a raw strength and emotional depth. A little-known fact is that Aretha developed a fear of flying in 1982 after being shocked by a bumpy flight. Her international performances were restricted due to this anxiety, which very likely caused disappointment in a few European stadiums. However, Aretha took her own approach. She traveled for hours and took buses when she was unable to fly, but she still gave performances that will never be forgotten. And she wasn't just about the music. She had strong ties to the civil rights movement and advocated for justice and equality using her position. She was even requested to tour and assist in raising money for the movement by a close family friend, Martin Luther King Jr. She obliged, putting her career on the line for something she believed in. Her position as a cultural icon for social justice was further cemented when she performed at his funeral, one of the most tragic performances of her life. Although she had a renowned voice, she was not formally trained to read sheet music. Franklin's grasp of complex gospel, jazz, and soul music is astounding, as she learned to play the piano and sing by ear and intuition. She was an exceptional performer in many genres because of her natural gift, which enabled her to improvise and act with extraordinary finesse.
Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. That one.
So you're thinking of somebody?
I was.
May I ask who?
No.
In 1978, she married actor Glyn Turman for the second time, a union that lasted until 1984. Although they broke up amicably, her romantic life never quite lived up to the popularity of her career. However, she did get engaged twice to a longtime friend, Willie Wilkerson, but she called it off in both occasions. We will never be able to determine why, but maybe that's just what queens do, keep us guessing. And if there's one thing Aretha took seriously, it was naming her kids. They were all named after their dads. Her first son was Clarence, after his father, and her second son was Edward, also after his dad, Edward Jordan. Later came Ted Jr. and Keycalf, each taking their father's names too, Ted White and Ken Cunningham. Clearly she didn't need a baby name book, just a look down the family tree and bam, names sorted. You have to admire the simplicity. At least nobody had to wonder, who's this kid's father?
We're on a mission from God.
Don't you blaspheme in here. Don't you blaspheme in here. Now, this is my man. This is my restaurant. You two are going to just walk right out that door without your dry white toast, without your 4 fried chickens, and without Matt Guitar Murphy.
Now, you listen to me. I love you, but I'm the man and you're the woman, and I'll make the decision concerning my life.
You better think about what you're saying. You better think about the consequences of your actions.
Oh, shut up, woman.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me, yeah.
Through the 70s and 80s, her music developed further, incorporating pop, R&B, rock, and gospel. She was admitted as the first female member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987. Imagine that, the Queen of Soul claiming her throne in a domain dominated by rockers. She wore her title with the grace and grit that only Aretha could. As the years passed, she gained not only notoriety for her voice, but also for her fortitude and determination to let her struggles define who she was. In her senior years, she continued to perform, but on her own terms. Known for demanding cash payments in advance before she even setting foot on stage, her insistence on financial respect was another way she asserted her independence and self-worth in an industry that often exploited artists. Aretha knew her worth, and she made sure everyone else knew it too. The house fell silent during her performance at President Obama's 2009 inauguration, which served as a reminder of her unparalleled vocal ability. Aretha made sure her presence was unforgettable by dressing in an enormous gray hat so grand, it was almost as iconic as the performance itself. That bow, you could probably spot it from the back row. She knew how to make an entrance, and with that hat, she didn't just make an impression, she made history. Aretha fought pancreatic cancer in her final years, yet she performed nearly till the end. She passed away in 2018 at the age of 76. Upon her passing, tributes were sent from all around the world. Even though the Queen was no longer performing, her influence endured, and could be heard in the music of any singers who dared to put their hearts into it. Her funeral was nothing short of a royal send-off. It lasted over 9 hours, with 27 speakers, 18 musical tributes, 6 pallbearers, and enough media coverage to rival a red carpet. 7 video cameras and 3 photographers captured every angle. Outside, over 100 pink Cadillacs lined the street in homage to Freeway of Love. And Aretha, she had 4 wardrobe changes over 4 days of public viewings, proving that even in her final bow, the Queen of Soul knew how to leave an impression. It was grand, emotional, and unforgettable, just like Aretha herself.
Sock it to me.
Sock it to me. Lay it on me. Give me a high five.
That
You know what I'm
too.
saying?
That too. But, you know, listen,
Yeah.
a lot of those things are you know, double meanings.
Okay, double entendres. Okay. Yeah.
That's
Sock
innocent.
it. What did you think sock it to me meant?
Was that innocent or coincidental?
Now, what did you think it meant,
Well,
Ed?
you come home and give me my properties.
Aretha was remembered in her death as a cultural icon, a musical great, and most importantly, a woman who defied expectations with her voice, bravery, and unbreakable spirit. And just like that, the Queen of Soul stepped down, but only when she was good and ready. She was a force of nature, a lady who made song out of every challenge life presented. She taught us what it means to fight, to love, to lose, and to rise again. She was and will always be the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, the one and only. Thank you for joining us on this soulful journey through the remarkable life of Aretha Franklin. If you enjoyed exploring her legacy and incredible story, give this video a thumbs up and tell us your favorite Aretha song in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more inspiring stories of music legends who shaped history with their talent and spirit. Until next time, keep the music alive.